Hello, beautiful souls. Caroline here. Sending love to all my subscribers, particularly. There's quite a few of you that watch but haven't subscribed, I see, but it's not a problem. But I did see in some of the information that the YouTube could give me was that you're watching from India, Uzbekistan, the Philippines, the UK, Germany, Indonesia, Iraq, Poland, the US, and Vietnam. New Zealand didn't even get a mention. So welcome. Truly there is no division in the spirit, no matter where you come from. And, you know, I was like to myself, I was like, oh, wow. Because I couldn't talk some of these countries' languages, right? So obviously you must put it into a translation to be able to hear. And I was like, oh, help the translation with my language. Maybe it sounds a bit broken up. Who knows? I have no idea how you do it, but blessings to you. It's a cold day today. Look, I'm in the same shirt. It's clean, but who says we have to change the shirt every day, right? Like, who didn't get dirty? I wasn't smelly under the armpits. It's really cold in New Zealand at the moment, so it's hardly like I'm perspiring much. What else I'm going to say? I'm au naturel, no makeup, not even a hair pressed. It's a bit like that comment that I had quite a while ago. I never actually commented on it, but she said, oh, I do wish you had something prettier than an old grey rag. Welcome to Caroline. I am very expressive, but you know what? I've learned over the years, right? It's always been me, myself, and I. I've had to have my own back when, you know, life has certainly sent its fair share of life experiences and trauma and relationships of all sorts. But, you know, there's always a reason. There's always a reason. And, I don't know whether you can see that. It's starting to light up again. So yeah, this is just going to burn away anything that is not for yours or my highest and best good. Sending it your way. Actually, what did I do with my... Not in here. I haven't got one of the feathers. My nervous system has been exercised again lately. And I have to go within and to calm it down. Calm the farm, I tell myself. Calm the farm, Caroline. Pull it in. Rein it in. Come on, back to your centre. Tell everyone has to go away until you calm the farm. Oh, it's so funny. Like, my childhood, I was brought up on a farm in the UK. And it was actually an agricultural farm, so... Well, obviously, an arable farm is what I was meant to say. So I was around crops of wheat and barley and what else did they grow? Oilseed rape, you know. And so I was very privileged, really. You know, the farm. We were in the main farmhouse. And my mum, my dad, and my two older brothers. My brother was the eldest, so my dad's got 5. There was 5 of them from his family. He was the third boy. There was 2 older brothers. Then he'd got another brother, so there was 4 boys. And the sister was the youngest. There's 2 of them. One's just recently passed, but there's a lot them from my dad down that are still alive. Don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe there's a point. But yeah, so it was a privilege to be brought. That farm was sold when I was 10, and then I got to know my dad after that for a few years, and then my dad ended up buying a farm with one of the brothers up in Scotland. So I did my sort of higher education, or sort of up to A level. I didn't finish A levels. They call them Scottish Highers anyway. So I did that in Scotland, and then they decided to sell up and move back south again, and then I just went off on my own. I actually did diploma in art and design, but I always noticed, like, even with when I did, with the schooling with A levels, I noticed that psychology was where I was drawn, but there was just this sense, like, sure, I probably could have gone off and done, but I suppose because I was farming background, and I think in hindsight, I resonated with farming because it was very grounding, and I love being part of that, part of the earth. But never. Whenever I went into study, even with being part of farming in New Zealand, I was doing dairy farming initially. They call it Ag ITO. You can join, right? Well, if you want to, learn the practices. And I'm not saying that they're not all wrong, but I just felt like I had more questions than they had answers, and I often felt like you were being railroaded into selling a product, buying a product, right? It's like, well, why do you do it like that? Like, I guess I've always had that questioning mind of, well, yeah, sure, the system, you've created it to be that way, but does it actually need to be that way, right? Surely there's better ways, right? And you only have to look at the way things are run, even in farming now. No judgment here. But, the chemicals and, well, why? Are you actually feeding the soil, or are you actually killing it? It's just so cool for fake yield, should we say? Because, my theory is that if a true yield is it would be, sure, it takes a certain amount out of the thing, but that's where you have crop rotation, right? Or anyway, I don't know, without going into territory where I'm going to sink, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. I think what I'm trying to say is that we've bled the land, and there's always a cost that comes with that. Now I'm just using peppermint to I just felt drawn to the peppermint. It helps open the third eye, opens up the sinuses, clears the way, helps you breathe better. Peppermint's very good for cutting through catarrh, or anything like that. I haven't got catarrh, but if you've had too much milk in your diet, you can become congested. Anyway, where are we going with this, Spirit? Why was I drawn to speak about that? Right. Where are we going? Divine. So I'm just calling on my ancestors, my guardian team, my team that are helping me to keep my nervous system in a safe space for growth, because you can't be part of source. You get disconnected from source if your nervous system is out of whack, and then you get into fight, flight, freeze, lack mentality, you feel unsafe, da-di-da-di-da. And, lots of things and reasons can be how our nervous system can get stimulated. The sympathetic nervous system, where it basically goes in, we see a threat, and it tries to work to protect it. And so we have to reassure ourselves, make sure we bring ourselves into the now moment. Is our physical safety, under threat now? And often it's not. So you just go calm and speak to yourself. Speak to your own nervous system. Manifest it. It was a burp then, so that's kind of like an alchemy. Speak to your own nervous system and talk to it. Look, just say calm. Calm your phone. Just bring it back to peace. When we're a child, we often have our parents, to have our sisters. I remember if I got really, really distressed, I'd get my mum to hold my head here. In fact, even so, whenever I was really distressed, even when my husband was alive, I'd feel it across here really bad, and I'd get him to hold his hand here, and I'd hold the back of my neck too. It was just automatic. I just knew that it felt much better, and it calmed me down. So these are all tricks of the trade, isn't it, really? Tricks to help. They're not tricks, they're just tools to calm it down and bring you back into that more of a neutral space with your higher self. When you're in your soul and your heart, I know you're with your higher self. I know this. But like anything, we have to put all these things into practice, don't we? Starting with myself, right? Even if you proclaim, a healer, it's just somebody that's been through it, that have actually learnt tools, and we can all gain this, right? But, it's just finding out what works for you, right? Now, as I came in before, I don't think there's anything else about my past. Well, I don't know if that came up, but anyway. Whoever's going to watch it, maybe it was important. I'm going to take... now, I've had... you'll see on one of my shorts that I have dragons come to me in clouds. They literally turned up for me. I've got one significant one on one of my shorts where it's very, very... you only have to look at it to know that, yeah, that looks like a dragon, right? So these are creatures of the, the... fifth, sixth, seventh dimension and above, right? They're metaphorical, but they are also energetic. They are energetic source code protectors of the earth, Mother Earth, consciousness. I don't know. To bring the balance to... They have a role, and we can have our own. I guess that's why, they're not just Disney movies, right? Or whatever. I don't even think it's Disney, isn't it, that does How to Train a Dragon. But it's not by coincidence that, How to Train Your Dragon, right? So, in essence, I do think that you can train your dragon to come to you. My horse, I'm saying my horse, my daughter's horse, I often call her the fire-breathing dragon, because occasionally she definitely turns into one. She's like a protector of this site too, and so anyway, right, Dawn Watcher. See, there's a dragon there. So this oracle is Oracle of the Dragonfae. I'm just going to see what can be added to what I've been talking about. Right, that one. Queen Marb, Lady Luna's Magic, and Chengguang, Ain of the Guardian on the bottom. Right, number 11, Queen 1111 has come to me today a few times. So we'll read this one, see what it's got to say. Your ancient wisdom is awakening. And I do believe these dragons help us to remember a forgotten world. And it's not just mysticism, or it's a real reality of the energetic realm. They're not just made up, imagination, woo-woo shit, right? They are actually guardians, the guardians to our awakening. They're initiations. They're into the sacred, into what is sacred to the divine, sacred into source code. I don't know. This is what's coming through. Okay, I am Marb. Oh, I'm just wondering if I've got my... No, I haven't got my glasses. It's okay, I can still read. I am Marb. Some call me Queen. And it is of your independence and personal sovereignty that I wish to speak to you at this time. So your independence and your personal sovereignty. Each day you see and feel injustices in your world. If you have a heart like me, yes, you see and feel, but you try not to get swallowed up with it. You're a transmuter, you're an alchemist. You go within, into your sovereignty. You are a holder of the grid, the holder of the light, and you don't consent to lower fields that are trying to put fear into you and make you feel unsafe, right? And each time you remain mute, you allow the energy to spiral. Okay, so there is a certain element where you need to speak up. Well, maybe that's why I'm speaking up now, right? But even me talking about the, what's going on with the Mother Earth, right? Like, we can't keep bleeding from the land, right? You've got to give back. There will be a reckoning. Now is the time to make the difference. Now is the time to take back the power, the mother, the earth goddess. Can you see how this is connected? I was talking about the earth, from whom we all were birthed, gave to you to safeguard and keep wisely the precious gift of being on this planet. Understand that you are energy and can use more than the old aggressive ways. Use your energy and your mind. Breath work and what you call prayer, but what I call magic, is to speak and allow your voice to reach others. So it's not. So in other words, you've been prepared for such a time as this to use your voice. You are part of a chosen. Well, a chosen one is you choose it. You've gone through your personal hell. You have shown to the divine that you are worthy of great honor, right? Then it's not about outdoor honor. You've been shown the way. You've proved yourself after every battle and test, which could have knocked you down, could have even potentially have wiped you out, right? You've got back up again. I get knocked down, I get back up again, right? I get knocked down, I get back up again. And I can see some of the words weren't even coming out properly though. Get a puppy, get it up. Maybe I'm almost speaking Indian. I don't know. I'm channeling somebody. Hopefully you can laugh about that. I don't know what the Indian practices even, or all these different countries, Uzbekistan, even Iraq, right? Indonesia, Vietnam. I mean, how, completely different soils. Poland, like, different soils to what's even in New Zealand, right? Like, so, but you know whether you're poisoning the land or whether you're helping it. You know whether you're, using your voice or not, or whether you're, keeping quiet and not doing anything and you're just sitting on it because you're too uncomfortable to speak. Well, let this be that you are now becoming more and more aware that to speak into life, the love that you have for Mother Earth. You are more powerful than you know. Right? When you find yourself struggling within the cage of anger and fear, You can be angry. It can make you angry. I know I've felt like that at times, and I'm like, you know, I mean, my father, my dad, had chemical poisoning, you know, and my husband's dad had leukemia. In fact, one of my granddad had leukemia, but it was you know, it's a disease of the blood, isn't it? It's you know, and he would have been sloppy around agrochemicals, right? So, you know, we talk about it, but I mean, there must be better ways of working with the earth. And I think we're obsessed, you know. In New Zealand, they use a lot of, you know, glyphosate or whatever you call it to Roundup, like to spray off weeds, right? And it makes it all look uniform, right? Because you haven't got weeds. And I get the fact that weeds create seeds and blah, blah, blah. Like, I get that. They used to do roguing in the day, didn't they, to get the weeds out in amongst the crop. Just made me think about Jesus when he said, let them grow together, you know, the weeds and the crop, right? And then at harvest time, I will, you know, I will take the grain into my garner and I will burn the others. Well, you know, that is divine, isn't it? Divine will burn away that which isn't meant to be there in your spirit. You know, there's so many diseases of the spirit, you know, so many addictions, so many, you know, unwise choices, personal choices, self-sabotaging behavior, you know, addictions, you know, the list goes on. You know, often we want to bury our heads in the sand and we feel like it's too much. You know, it's not a small thing to, I was going to say not a small thing to fall in the hands of the living God, but I'm not, you know, I'm not religious, I'm Christ's, but I'm not, there are some very good morals within scripture. And, you know, it's like anything, you know, they may have tried to thwart the truth of Jesus with, you know, patriarchy because they suppressed the divine feminine. But the divine goddess is always there, ready to rise. And you can't suppress it. It's a bit like those women, intuitive women, that they would be they would get into their divine masculine. You know, look at Joan of Arc, for example. She would get into a divine masculine energy within her. She was still feminine, right? But, you know, there's a lot of things just so distorted. And the twin flame journey is about balancing the masculine and the feminine within me. I mean, when my husband died, I didn't have a man that was protecting me, right? I was it. You know, and as much as I wanted a man to come and rescue me just so that, you know, they could hold my hand and I could be, you know, but Divine was like, no, Caroline, you're stronger than that. Come on, you can do it. And it's like, you know, but there's the inner child, the inner part of Caroline was like, but I don't want to do it, right? And yeah, I did most of it with my husband anyway, if you know what I mean, like with finances, and helped him, you know, so that we were building for ourselves. And, you know, even with that personal hell, and I can go into whatever am I going to I wasn't expecting to talk so openly really, but like my husband, you know, he poured into helping the people on the land, and I was so proud of that. We were so proud of helping them. We were contractors, so we'd go to lots of different farms, and, you know, often there was a lot of downtime just moving between farms. And, you know, it was very consuming. It took a lot of time and effort, to the point where we didn't really see much of our beds, right? So we were kind of getting broken bits of sleep. But of course it's seasonal, right? So you're talking, you know, well, with the windrows, it was 2 or 3 months of the year. But I enjoyed that time with my husband. I enjoyed being his helpmate. I enjoyed, you know, being his number one supporter and our supporter, because we were, you know, a partnership. And not in the admiralty term, but I guess in a sense you kind of are. Anyway, that's another subject. But once you be in your sovereignty, you're even though the system and the way you get your money, right, they're actually taking from you and then asking you to pay the debt on what you've given them. That's how bankers work, if you didn't know. And money is an energy. So, but you'll, so long as, if you're doing the best you can, you're not here to screw over a brother, or trying to top dog another, or, you will be rewarded in time. Yeah, but it might not be easy. You might have past where you've got the energy of others on you that don't want you to succeed. They're almost hell-bent. Spiritually, you feel it. It's like an unspoken word. They showed you by the fact that they weren't there. Not only physically, but they weren't there to financially assist or provide any source of help. No, they were there to judge and criticize. And yet, divine you, they saw. And maybe you're on your dharmic path now, right? Because you, throughout the whole thing, how you were tested, you went through the fire, you were tested, and you came out. Sure, you may have had a wee whiff of, smoke left on your wings, and you, but you transformed. You transformed that darkness into goodness, and so your dharmic path is your reward for that. But there's still people. If it's like anything. New level, new devil, right? People that want to be on your shirt tails, right, and hold you back, like, that's mine, I'm going to take that, Don't do that. I'm sure if you're on my channel, I'm sure you don't. But, even if you have, you've probably learned from that, alchemized it, and you've learned to be, no matter the cost, you became committed to your moral integrity. And if you read up about Dharma, that's exactly what it is. So you from India and, Buddhism and all the rest of it, like, we'll all come together as a family, right? There's no such thing as a division in spirit. There is only just that oneness. And we all are tapped in our own ways, in our own life experiences, tapped into that source consciousness. There's no such thing as a different colour skin, right? You are soul brother and sisters. Right. So when you find yourself struggling within the cage of anger and fear, breathe love and rest and revive yourself with knowledge of your own strength. I've been feeling this a lot lately because I can't force myself to do something sometimes at the moment. So I know my energetic level has been lowered because of energies, people trying to pull off me. And it's a time to retreat, and it's winter's, the leaves are off, right? So it's got to go within. The energy is all contained within the branches of the tree while it's in winter period. And the buds are just are there, but then, ready for the time when the warmth comes and the sun then shows its glory to the plant. Know the Dragonfae are with you and will help you transmit your messages around this world you dwell in now. So, divine, you may have a calling. I know I feel that. You may have a calling to speak, to transmit a message to the world, and this is my way of doing it. I have other ways, but speaking to your community, just getting with the heart. There's a lot of educated men out there, but they just don't have that moral integrity. They're ruled by the dollar, and the system, and there's no judgment here. The system honors that kind of, or demands that, right, to keep you trapped, to keep you in the cage, and it can make them angry because they're like, oh, it's not how I want it to be. So their soul's saying one thing and their 3D reality is saying another, and so there's that conflict. And so, you know, there's the separation between the two paths does bring anger and resentment, and why does it have to be this way? And, you know, but often it's not gone within enough to be able to process it, to articulate it, and to try and think about another way of changing things. Anyway, for I know and I tell you that a reckoning will be made. Oh my God, I was talking about a reckoning. Fuck. It always surprises me. Like I said, it will be the day of reckoning, right? You can't keep abusing the earth and keep expecting to take without a balancing, right? It's just, that's the way the earth works. And these dragons are the guardians of the earth. They're not dead. They may have been dormant. They're not dead. And they're arising throughout the feminines, those that speak truth, right? Even like I am today to you. So that's confirmation from the spirit realm that I'm not talking out my ass, or that I'm not a crazy bitch, right? Which most people in this realm will try and suggest or project, right? Because it makes them uncomfortable, because you go to the core, you go to the deepest parts of the earth to retrieve the truth through balance and perspective. So the reckoning will be made, and you are a part of this magical planet's rescue team. Woo-hoo! Be strong. Be wise. Stay safe. And change the world. No word of a lie. That's what it says. See on the top line? No word of a lie. Mab is indeed the queen of the old ways, and she works with the younger Dragonfae to safeguard and keep the knowledge of the earth alive, and to keep the fairy realms safe from human ravages and interferences. She moves very quickly. She is electric, her energy charged at times, despairing and sad at others. Have you been there? and slow at others when her enormous energy becomes drained. Again, it's not by coincidence when I said I can't force myself to do something sometimes, because I'm working the energetic realm. I'm working with my divine team. There is a draw on my energy. That is work. Not necessarily I'm paying it forward for the universe, right? That only they know. It's not, you know, universally acknowledged as a degree, or, you know, or it's just a knowing, isn't it? She is fierce and so courageous, and she uses her magic to ensure her realm is safe and to safeguard humans in turn. She is often portrayed as being a queen, but her crown is of light and of energy. She is connected to our own dreams, and she ensures that what we wish for, when it comes from love and magic, comes to us. She appears to many of us in her dreams and is very beautiful. So just remember your prayers. What are you asking for? Don't forget to ask divine. We forget. It's all in that asking. What are you desiring? Sometimes I wonder what I'm desiring or what I'm asking, and I feel like it's you know, am I putting a noose around my own neck? I certainly felt that of late, but it's just keep praying, right? It doesn't have to be all the time, right? It's just as and when the urge takes you. You know, be real with it. Don't be, you know, thank you for this, thank you for that. Like, that's all good, right? But be authentic. You know, give it heart. Caroline, yeah, I'll do more. I actually did some today, so maybe, you know, they're all prayers offered up, aren't they? Even for others. To restore conflict, to to bring balance, to bring love, to bring honesty, to bring, you know, truth, to bring accountability to any situation in life. She has a flock of young Dragonfae who work with her apprentices and report back to her on what is happening in the world in those times when her energy is too exhausted for her to travel far. She is so wise and has seen so much, and yet she is ageless. Oh, you can imagine. She must be exhausted, the poor devil. Oh, I shouldn't say devil, should I? Why did I say that? Well, she's been into the lower parts of the year, so it's actually she's seen all of the human nature. But she must get her tired and weary and think, come on, guys. Is anyone going to step up? Step up out of this ash? Are they so, I was going to say, hell-bent on burning it to the ground? There must be a seed there somewhere. She never gives in, and she will never abandon her people, the Fae and all the elementals. So she's part of all the elementals. This is just an energy of love. When you draw this card, know that you are loved and protected by Marb too. That you are beloved for your unique and even odd qualities. Yes, we're a little bit odd. But that's a bit of a difference. And that blending in is not the way. I've never blended in. Socially awkward at times. But then life at the soul of the party. If I'm with the right energy, cool, blimey, look out. This card and Mama are for everyone who has ever ached at their separation from the old ways. Oh, whoever's watching this, I feel when I say that, I really feel the masculines like just with a big grin on their face, because it's like, oh yeah, this is exactly how we feel. You know, those ones that are really the salt of the earth, and they, you know, but they do things because they have to, or because it's the way it is, and you know, but even they're frustrated that they don't know how to grow past it, to change, to be confident in their own knowingness, to challenge the status quo. You know, that's the feeling there, and I felt it. I felt it. I'm with you, brothers. I really am. It's not easy, and this isn't a channel of, you know, going completely or, you know, organic. It's going to be a process, and the earth will forgive you, you know. But you have to, you know, the science, you know, needs to be about pouring into, you know, giving the right elements, giving the right conditions for the soil, for the crop, you know. And I'm not saying that they don't. I think you hear what I'm saying. You know, at what sacrifice? Is it a sacrifice to the next crop? Yeah, it just, and I don't know it all. Like I've not gone into that field, because I would have challenged it to the nth degree. Like it's just part of me, but it's just a feeling, isn't it? Like it's a knowing without knowing. But I know that if I can encourage those that are masculines that are in that field and know where it could benefit. And often it doesn't cost as much to the farmer, right? These really secretly deep down, because I mean we've just got pulled into that we've got to consume. And of course, a lot of the, you know, the big, you know, chemical companies for one, right? You know, the advertisement, the complete degradation of moral compass, moral duty, just because of the sake of a brand, right? Like, yeah, you hear me. Getting back to the basics of enchantment and magic, reconnecting with the old ways and seeing them as eternal, understanding the karmic history of your area, that's interesting, and applying the principles and lessons in the present moment. So often, often when there's a disease of the land, there's actually been a disease of the mind. You can't, you know, it's the disease of the collective consciousness, you know, because they've been, you know, cajoled or out of alignment. They've lack of intelligence, maybe. They've not asked the right questions. It's all felt too hard, so they've gone for the comfortable route, right? The easy route. I mean, everyone can choose the easy route. Right? It's easy to just, you know, go and sit on the couch and bloody put Netflix on and just zone out, right? But it's about finding your purpose and getting your knowledge together of the skill together as brothers and sisters that benefit the land. Ideally, that's the goal, isn't it? And encouraging each other, but benefiting each other, you know, paying for their services. You know, it's that exchange of energy with the purposes that somebody's gift, you know, the gift of, you know, knowing exactly what to put on the land, even without even putting it through lab tests or whatever. There are some people that are intelligent like that they're just built for it. You know, we need to get back to what are people built for? What gifts are they here to transmit to the world, to the collective? Sort of get out of there, you know, I'm going to bury my head in the sand too. I'm here. This is what I do. Yo, bro. This is what I do. Oh, boy, it's funny what somebody channels through some. Like a rapper. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, man. Shit. I'll make myself laugh. It's funny. Anyway, this is my way of channeling. Like, I can channel people and what they're thinking, and I've only really become aware of it in the last, well, because of my twin flame journey, but becoming a bit more psychic, but just following it, you know, and then I'm going, holy crap, like, it sort of makes sense, you know, the different paths of your life, and, you know, all the hardships and the things that you've been through with other people, and you're going, maybe I can make a difference. You know what I mean? Like, maybe my thing is like public speaking, or like, you know, being a motivational speaker. And I actually do feel like I'm a motivational speaker, if I'm honest, because I've always been able to draw out, you know, the purpose and the soul and the spark within people, and able to help that flourish. And I think we just need to do more of that. Like, really do. So that's my gift, I think, to the world. Some of it. Hey, bro. Oh, right. Where was I? Help. Understanding the karmic history of your area and applying the principles and lessons in the present moment. Telepathically receiving messages. So you can telepathically receive a message from a brother, whoever you're connected to. You can just know what they're thinking, you know, and it is obviously still with boundaries. Like, divine doesn't, you know, intrude in others' free will or psychic. It's always in love. You get the messages that are for everyone's highest and best good. But sometimes it can be that you know how to help that friend. Okay, so however it applies. Telepathically receiving messages and trusting in them. Knowing, so it's about starting to learn to trust in these telepathic messages. Knowing that your thoughts have energy. And it's a bit like between twins. Twins can telepathically transmit messages, also in dreams. And this can be an ebb and flow, right? Because one twin can be maybe a bit more spiritually aware. Often the feminine is, because she's sort of like divine. She's connected to the moon, which is sort of source consciousness. It's the subconscious. It's the hidden aspects. And the masculine is the sun, connected to God, Earth. I keep wanting to say Gaia as well, but to the doing, to the daily activities. Yeah, so knowing that your thoughts have energy and can have an immense impact on what happens. Think of the threefold law. Indulge in some old-fashioned magic. Believe in your own abilities. That's the thing. Believe in your own abilities. And trust in the ancient ways of wisdom that run in your blood, as well as in the planet's heartbeat. Woo! All connected. I have hawks come to me a lot lately. They are constantly circling wherever I am. In fact, they've been swooping over where I am at home a lot. And you know, that's the divine masculine side. It's like spirit saying to me, we've got you. You've got it. You know, it's all unfolding. We're with you, Gil. Don't give up. You got the magic. What's that song? You got the power. Well, that's a real old song. How does that go? You got the power. You got the power. I'm gonna have to look that up. It's a real old one. You got the power. Something like that. Drop a comment below if this is entertainment value, if anything else. Respect old magics. Learn more about the ancient lineages of magic. So going to ancient Egypt, the sacred. This is like an initiation with the goddesses. You got goddess Isis. Who's the other one? Why have I had a mind blank? But yeah, you got Kali Ma, you got Hecate. They're all goddesses of the light, really. There's a lot of divine feminine. You got Mary Magdalene, of course, her and Mother Mary, and then all of the lineages. I mean, even Joan of Arc. You've got. I mean, there's lots of Indian ones. Lots of different feminines. Every feminine that has ever existed, right, has an energetic frequency, has an energetic code. She has coded it into source consciousness. So, it's all about tapping into it. This does not mean to become a creature of what is called the past, but to understand and respect magical heritage and connections. Yeah, so, that's what I'm saying. It's about drawing on the energy and the knowledge of the past through these divine feminines, through these dragon elementals. It's there for our receiving as part of the initiation into the light. Otherwise, it's just prayer. It's just about being on your heart. Ask Marb to assist you with clearly defining and deciphering telepathic information. So you can ask for that support. I'll just write that down. To assist you with clearly defining and deciphering telepathic info. Now, this whole channeling, this is just a channeling. It comes in like code form, how spirit team talk to you. It's just through your consciousness. It just flows out of you when you're tapped in. So long as you've always started with the highest and best good, then, you're safe, right? And ask it to let you know how you can assist the earth. Many of the creatures of this planet are now facing extinction. Marb assists them and will help you to activate others' care for them too. So if you know about animals and that's your passion, and you know about these distinct animals, and that has been your calling, do it for us. We gotcha. Right? because you can't, we can't all do everything, right? But I'm behind you, girl, or boy, bro. Older family members may also reveal that you have a magical lineage. Older family members may also reveal that you have a magical lineage. They may do this in subtle ways, but they shall do it. So be aware that you may be informed that you do have a magical lineage, but you don't have to be told this. It's just a knowing, isn't it? Like I'm aware that I've got something significant within me, but only because I've gone within. It's not just as and when divine wants to reveal it. How that's been 50 minutes, man. These messages have been quite long lately. Lady Luna, synchronize with lunar time and energy. You know that I shine upon this earth and that we belong to each other, right? India, Uzbekistan, Germany, Philippines, Indonesia, wherever you're from, right? We belong to each other, yet you have disconnected. Why have we disconnected? Bro, why are we disconnected? We're now channeling back to source. You have disconnected. For all your knowledge, when only a few moments spent beneath my rays would cleanse your entire energy field, assisting you in shining your light at the full moon. See the sun come out then. And with my dark time, you may go within and find the secrets you have kept hidden from yourself and look at them without blame or fear. So sometimes the shadow's got to come up. Some people have got shadow. We all have shadow, but you need to face it. Not sweep it under the carpet. You have to face it. You acknowledge your faults, right? Because as soon as you bring conscious awareness to it, it's already on shaky ground, right? You can then dispense it into other energy that is far superior and better for you, right? So you're not sabotaging your own life. I suppose that's what Jesus said about, if thy right hand offends thee, cut it off. And with my dark time, you may go within and find the secrets you have kept hidden from yourself and look at them without blame or fear. So I ask you now, as my moon Dragonfae fly about me, sending the energy ever turning to connect with me, Lady Luna. When you do connect, you will be more complete, and the yearning and sense of hopelessness that I feel from you from time to time will ease. Be soothed and finally dissolve. Take my healing powers and light as yours, as they are. Reflect upon me, and I will reflect upon you, and your dreams and visions will gain in strength, clarity, and power, all the while keeping you safe and grounded. I'm really feeling heavy masculine energy viewing me right now, and this is definitely a channel, and I love you very much. My light has shone over the Dragonfae, the magical world, the beings you call human, and all those of the animal and plant kingdom. The minerals, the dreams, and the flowers are all mine. All are mine, and I am theirs. My light ran through the veins of your ancestors, and they understood me better than you. For all your knowledge, sometimes do now. What does that mean? What? My light ran through the veins of your ancestors, and they understood me better than you. For all your knowledge. I think there might be a spelling mistake in this. For all your knowledge, it's like saying, I think, for all your knowledge that you've gained, you've lost something that you've forgotten about your ancestors. Please let us be friends and companions once again. Do not be afraid of my light and my nighttime self. Well, the dark feminine, she does slay for a reason, but it is for your benefit. Believe it or not, for you are the same as me, and we are both older than time itself. The moon is a goddess in her own right. Yeah, see? Told you, feminine. It's not about told you, but you know what I mean, right? The feminine, part of the intuition. Her magic is unique and otherworldly and is shared and distributed. So don't domineer, because I mean, India, I see this, but masculines do tend to dominate the women, right? Just, you need to harness the women folk. You need to put them on the pedestal a bit more, guys, because you got a bit out of balance. You got a bit egocentric, right? No offense. Build a fence if you need to around your ego. Her magic is unique and otherworldly and is shared and is distributed amongst every single being on the planet. So who's meant to watch this? Meant to watch it. I just saw 55, 44. So what's that? That's 10 plus 4 plus 4 is 8. 18. So 8 plus 1 is 9. Close of the cycle. So let's close this cycle out, for bleeding the earth and the ego, right? Close it out. She has many names and guises, including the dark crone self, from whom we must not run, but whose hand we may take and be led into the secret chambers of our own hearts. So she will grab hold of your hand, a bit like me now. Here, take my hand. Come with me, take my hand. And I will pull you and we will commune together on what's in thine heart. But it's a safe space because we can be a revealer of the dark truths of oneself, things that we're not proud of, behaviors that are basically self-sabotaging, and we're aware of this. But we just need to, she says, but whose hand we may take and be led into the secret chambers of your own hearts. She is also known as Ariane, Harhot, Ain, Selene, Artemis, Diana, and the triple goddess. That just reminds me, I had a dream about Princess Diana. So whether I'm connected to her bloodline, I don't know, but she was very much in my dream. And she did a lot of good, didn't she? Even in her short years. Her domain is that of dreams, starlight, magic, and the in-between places. She is neither black nor white. She is silver and is radiant. Her messages and work are constant and yet ever-changing. Our emotional well-being, our need for water, and our love and dreams are all assisted by Lady Luna. She is compassionate, loving, and is the regulator of all our energies and of our emotions. We shut ourselves away from her when we use electric light, when we draw the curtains on the moon, and when we pollute our skies to such a degree that the earth can no longer be bathed in her light. Lady Luna. Moon cycles are to be worked with at this time. Others feeling that your new magical behaviours and practices are lunacy. Oh dear, what a terrible thing. They obviously think I'm a lunatic. Understanding your nighttime self, receiving messages from crystals of which the moon is composed, and discovering far more about your true and hidden self. Discover how moonlight affects you and work in tandem with her beautiful cycles, introducing others to her work, beginning projects at new moon, working towards completion at full, going within when she is waning and going to dark. Working with Lady Luna. Learn your moon sign. This will give you many clues as to who you are at the core of your being, who you are under the layers and layers of unmagical conditioning that can rub away and erode our natural intuitive abilities and magical gifts. isn't it funny? Lunacy, right? Lunar, you know, the lunar. So people project that to you because you actually do go to the moon. You are intuitive. The feminine is, you know, so you're called that because you're doing precisely what you were meant to.
I can't see it.
Oh, right, okay, I'll be out in a minute. I'll be out, I'm just finishing video.
Okay, just be like 2 minutes.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think that's it. Someone wants to see me, so I'm in hot demand. I won't read the other one. I think that's sufficient. So sending you love. There was 1, 2, 2 there. Sending you love. From one lunar cycle to another. All the best, guys. Seriously, we're pretty normal. Bye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, send me some love, send me a comment.